Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all doing well. I hope you've also watched the weekly outlook because that gives us an overview looking into the week. So let's have a look at what we're expecting. We're looking for trade setups. Right, guys, thank you. Let's start. All the charts on the website are updated. You can have a look at the detailed charts. So here I'm only looking for trade setups. For the complete cycles and sequences, you can refer to the charts on the website. All charts are up to date. Right, so we have been looking for DXY to give us this move. And so far, this move has been coming up pretty correctively and slow. Is this going to, are we still going to get this to the downside? We're going to look at this now in a bit. Let's have a look at that move to the downside. Are we getting that downside, or is this going to make another push to the upside? But as far as the indicators are concerned, we are still just at 50 and we are at the top here. Let me get the right tool here. We are at the top here. We are just at 50 and we look like we are going up correctively here. So we are still expecting this. Although this may not go all the way down as we had anticipated, it may just make this structure here, as I've shown yesterday. We may get this and then we start pushing up higher again. But for now, we're looking for this to drop from this level. There doesn't seem to be momentum for this to make a structure like this. I'm not seeing that structure at this stage. If it does play out, that means we're gonna have to have a look at the structure again. But that's the expectation, is that we have this structure, corrective structure there, and then we continue to the downside. It's just a matter of how far this is gonna go, but wait for it to confirm. It has to confirm that move. Okay, so let's have a look here. So that is the overall structure. We are looking for that. Just to reiterate what we're looking for, and then this downside here. Right, that is DXY. The euro is the same. So the euro, we are looking at this structure here. We're looking for this to be making 1, 2, 3, push to the upside. Is this going to go all the way? That is the forecast currently, but that may change slightly. All right, so let's have a look. That may change, but for now we are looking for this structure. It looks very corrective, so we may not go all the way up like that. So what we could get here is that this could be even more corrective. You get this as a double, gets up to the 50% of the overall move. So let's just watch this. For now, it's just going sideways. There isn't really much you can do about this structure right now. Okay, so I've shown another alternative where this can make a structure like this and then upside. So what structure will that be? That will be, if you're looking at the lower degree here, you would have 3 waves down here, you would have 3 waves up here, you would have these as 3 waves again. So even if you do get a push up higher, you may find that we are making this structure here. So that structure will be a WXY structure in the red degree here as follows. Then we can get that move to the upside. For now, we're just going sideways. We're still corrective at that level. All right. Right, so that is what we have. Welcome, Jack. Hope you're feeling energetic after that cup of coffee. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. Pound US dollar still continuing lower within this corrective structure. We are still going sideways. We have pushed a little bit lower. So this is the structure that we expect possibly on pound, and then upside here. So we've got 5 waves down here, 3 waves here. We could get another move to the downside before we get upside here. So we are sideways. We are correcting. As you can see, the market has been moving pretty slowly. So you don't want to do anything there. So we cannot even take advantage of the move against the trend because it's going very slow there. That is pound US dollar. US dollar chief, similar to the DXY. I'm looking at these structures even yesterday. I'm still looking at the same structure. We've got a move down. We've got what looks like a flat correction here. I'm still expecting this to come down. Why am I expecting that to come down? There's also this possibility, which I'm not considering right now, this possibility that this has broken out and we're looking for upside. But if you look at the indicators, let's have a look at the indicator. If you look at the indicator, we are at the top here. We are still just at 50. So this one dropping here is very likely for us to get this move. So especially if this starts dropping below 50 here, we start getting, this is what we're going to look at to get that move to the downside. We're going to look for a setup as follows. This is also very corrective here. is also very corrective. It's always very interesting when you're in corrective structures because you're trying to focus when these corrections are going to end. So even if you do get a bit of a push to the upside here, we'll be looking for this on US dollar chief. Just like the DXY, it's just a matter of how far this will go to the downside. The forecast initially was for this to reverse there, but it has not happened. So we may even just get to around these levels. Let's watch how that plays out. US dollar CAD has made a bounce. That bounce, US dollar CAD, we don't buy US dollar CAD until we get to 120. Even if we do get this, we're still going to look for this. Indicator is still showing us that this is going to go to the downside. If we look at the 4-hour, as much as this is a single wave here, we are at the top here, we're just at 50 here. I'm expecting US dollar CAD to continue to the downside. Not even with this, maybe not even a 3-wave structure. The indicators are showing us much more downside here. Let's have a look. Maybe on the 1 hour, there may be indication for one more up. Let's have a look. Yes, 1 hour may show a bit of upside here, but not the cleanest of structures. So we may see just this going to the upside a little bit like that. Going to the upside is just giving you another opportunity to take it even lower. Okay, so that is US dollar CAD, Audi US dollar. So Audi US dollar, just like Euro US dollar, is pushing a little bit to the downside. We expected this. That's what we looked at yesterday. It is coming down a little bit slower. So we may get a bounce at some point here. So that bounce will simply be making 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Take the low, bounce, and then downside before we go. Let's make a full screen here so we can see where that comes from. Let's clear just to see the whole structure here on Audi. So we've got 3 waves down here. These are 3 waves to the downside. These are 3 waves to the upside. We're expecting a possibly another 3 waves to the downside here on Audi. So we will have 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down here. But there's another alternative which I'll show you now. Another alternative on the Audi, instead of this going down straight like this could bounce up here, whatever bounce we get here. Let's show that in red. There's a possibility that we can get this bouncing up here, comes and takes the low, comes back up. That will be more sideways. That will be a very wide corrective structure. And then you get this. It is still this, but it would have made a flat. For now, we're looking for the next move to the downside to around these levels. Even if you do get a bounce, that bounce may not be strong. It will be just to get to this level. So let's watch it at this level. That is Audi. New Zealand will be similar as well. Let's have a look at the New Zealand. Let's get off full screen here. So there's not much in terms of trade setups. Those who trade natural gas, it is a trade of the week. You can check it out on the website. Trade of the week has been updated that we've got natural gas as our trade of the week. So New Zealand, similar to Audi US dollar, we've got something like this here. This is not a clean structure because this structure does not make sense here. It's not an Elliott wave structure. So let's have a look here what the possibilities are. So there's a possibility of this being a expanding flat, but we expect this to go in the same direction to be correlated to the Audi. So I'm not really expecting this. So even we may get this bounce here, or if this is making a move here, that will be the bounce that we'll be getting on the Audi. And then we'll still get this to come down as follows, and then upside. As you can see here, we already made a move down in 3 waves. This will be another 3 waves as well. We'll expect another 3 waves before we make a move to the upside. So let's just watch what happens here. Whatever bounce we get here, we can see that we've got this one making what looks like an ending diagonal. So we may get that bounce. Let's have a look here. So we may even get some divergence just in that area. Let's have a look here. Yes, we've got some divergence. So this one here could get a bounce here, and that bounce is coming with that divergence. we've got some divergence. So here specifically this part here is showing us some divergence. So we may be getting these 3 waves to the upside here. As you can see, there are no clean trades to look at on the US dollar pairs, US dollar ZAR. Right, so let's have a look at US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR has made a 3-wave pullback. We're expecting continuation to the downside. So the dollar weakness, we expected the US dollar weakness to resume against the South African rand. Right, so that's what we have here. So you remember the structure that we're looking at on US dollar ZAR. You can check out the video from yesterday and all other videos previously. Right, so that's what we have here on British pound. Now, next one is British pound. So we've got British pound here, yen. We're expecting a deeper correction here. So this is a single move to the downside. We should get a bit of a bounce here. So any bounce that we get here will be a continuation to the downside, but that is not a reversal. We have not reached our target of 156 on pound yen. We're still looking for more upside. Look at the sequence on the website. We're still looking for much more upside, and there's no relationship between this structure because that is 3 waves. There could actually be, this is 3 waves, this is 3 waves. This is an impulse. It can actually be a very nice expanding flat, provided, remember the guidelines. So when you look at these structures, you don't just look at the shapes, you must look at the guidelines. Let's check if it complies with the guidelines as far as the Fib levels are concerned. So let's have a look here at the Fibonacci extension tool. This should not be more than 1,618. So this is your invalidation level of an expanding flat. So at this point, we can still get this one here to continue to the upside at 1,618. That is the guideline. So if it should not be more than 1,618, if it becomes more than 1,618, we invalidate the flat or the expanding flat that we're looking at here. Now, if we look at if this is an ABC structure, we have to look at the B level structure as well, the B level. So the B should not be more than 1,38 of this move. So as you can see, the B is above 105 and it is within the range. So this is 1,38, well within, this is 1,105. This is actually a perfect expanding flat. So it will not be a surprise if we see pound yen start a move to the upside. So let's keep an eye on that and watch that one. So US dollar yen, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down. That's a WXY corrective structure. So if this one comes back down around these levels, we'll be expecting this to continue to the upside. Euro yen, we should get a bit of a bounce at these levels here. Is this a running flat? Can qualify to be a running flat, but it looks like we're still going to continue lower and even break this level. That is Euro yen. Chief yen. Let's go to the 4-hour. Let's go back to the 4-hour. All right, so Chief yen, as we explained yesterday, we are looking for this to make this continuation pattern. We've got 3 waves there. We're looking for this to continue to the downside as follows. So still that's the move. We're still looking for that to continue to around those levels. You can decide whether you can take a trade here if we get a bit of a pullback similar to what we had here. You can make a decision whether you'll be able to have a good risk to reward ratio up to this level. I'm trying to get the Fib extension tool here so we can measure how far that will go. We want to project the blue box for that. So we would expect this. If you're taking the trade, if you get an entry for that move, the target will be in the blue box. Looks like it's very close as well. So we're projecting the blue box around this level. That is the equal legs. That is where we expect any form of reversal there on Euro Yen, or Chief Yen rather. That's the expectation there. Let's take this off. Right, so that is Chief Yen, and that's what we're expecting. CAD Yen. There. So CAD Yen, we are pulling back. That's what we want to see on CAD Yen. So this is an opportunity. Look at this as an opportunity, guys, for further upside on CAD Yen. This is correlated to oil, obviously, because of the CAD. So any corrective structure we're going to get here, whether it becomes a flat, whether it becomes a zigzag, we'll be looking for another leg to the upside. There's still quite a big move to the upside. So CAD Yen, and also I'm going to jump straight to CAD Chief as well. So these pullbacks that you're seeing on the CAD pairs, those are opportunities to take it further up higher. So we saw yesterday, we expected CAD Chief rather, to make one more move to the downside, but it's just going down correctively. It's not really going anywhere. We want a deeper correction here. So yesterday we were here, and now it's pulling back here. It's still a corrective structure. So we want to see a decent move to the downside. This one is not giving us a strong move to the downside. So seeing this can still make another move to the downside. So this is still a corrective structure. The deeper, the better for another move to the upside. So let's just watch that. It is still in the making. When it's done, then we're going to start looking for upside. So let's look at other CAD pairs, Audi CAD. So Audi CAD, because of the pullback on oil and the short-term weakness on the CAD, we're expecting this one to be a move to the upside. So we're expecting this to push a little bit higher. That is CAD Yen. New Zealand CAD. So New Zealand CAD looks like it's making a base there, and we're going to see this one do that. Maybe slow here and take a bit of time here with what we like to call a V pattern, and then a move to the upside. That move may not go all the way. It can be just the pullback until oil finishes its correction, and then we start seeing continuation to the downside. Okay, so that is New Zealand. So let's look at Audi CAD as well. So I want to look at all the pairs with the CAD on them. Audi CAD also, you can see these are corrective structures. They are in the opposite direction of what oil is doing. So they are inverse to the oil correction. So oil is doing this. They are doing this. They're making a move to the upside. This is because the CAD here is a quoted currency. So if the CAD is strong short, if the CAD is weak short term, we're going to see the bounce. When this is weak, we see a bounce. So oil is correcting. So that's why we're seeing a bounce on the pairs that have got a CAD as the quoted currency. Let's look at pound CAD and euro CAD as well. Just want to look at all the CAD pairs. Not that there's anything special. We have seen the corrections. Pound CAD. Pound CAD, we're already done with this corrective structure. And as I said yesterday, this is the trade of the week. If you trade Forex Best, this is the trade of the week. Look for this to continue to the downside. All indications are for this to move to the downside. They may not make it so obvious. You may find that you get a pullback here before you actually come to the downside. This looks too obvious, but we are looking for downside here. So if you see something like this, don't be surprised. It does happen. So, but we are looking for this. That's why you need to wait for the confirmation. You need to have this for our candle closing here. Put your stop loss there. If you get a pullback, it's even better because then you're going to have a tighter stop and your risk to reward ratio improves. But we're looking for this to continue to the downside. That is pound CAD, euro CAD. Just make a note, guys, from the 1st of April, the afternoon webinars, that is the New York session webinars, we will be bringing them back in slowly from, we're going to start with 2 or 3 webinars, with afternoon webinars, until we are fully back in operation, where we can have the 4 webinars, 4 afternoon webinars as well. So the idea with the afternoon webinars is that we go through only one group of pairs and we go through them in detail so that you can understand the sequences and what we expect of that. Right, so that's how we look at that. So that is pound CAD. Let's have a look at Euro CAD. Where are the euros? Euro CAD. That will start from April. Euro CAD, we had a bounce here. So with that bounce, that's the 3-wave structure, and we're looking for this to continue to the downside. If we look at the indicators, this is a nice setup for downside. It's another one. Remember the one that we saw previously? We saw this, I'll show you the one that we saw previously. This is perfect for continuation to the downside. This is perfect. So you saw pound CAD and Euro CAD. These are good setups for downside. Remember this one was exactly the same setup. Look at where we were. We had this corrective structure. Indicator was at the top. Here was not even touching the top here. We were below 50. So that's why we expected this to continue to the downside. In any case, Euro, we've been selling Euro for a while. It was not only here. This was only another continuation pattern, exactly the same way we are seeing the current one here. You can even put in another alert here, maybe somewhere around here, so that when this breaks here, let's put in an alert. Those who don't know, you can put in an alert on TradingView so that it can send you an email whenever you get a crossover the boundary here. So you can start looking at the trade. You take it with a, what time the afternoon webinar starts, we will confirm, but usually I think previously it used to start at 11 a.m. GMT, but we will confirm the times, right? That is Euro CAD. So I think I'm done with all the CAD pairs. So let's continue with the rest here. Let's look at the commodities here. Did I do Audi and New Zealand yen? I think I didn't do Audi and New Zealand yen. Let's have a look. See this, not loading here. Okay, Audi yen, there's